Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Selenium training. In previous session we have already seen how to read and write into an XLS files, that is Excel files. So in this session we are going to see on how to read and write into an XML file. And also we are going to see what is the significant importance of these XML files in automation and how we make use of these XML files and what data we store in these XML files that we will see in this session. So in this session we are going to see what is XML, what is the structure of XML file and why XML file is used in automation. So I wanted to just give some background on XML files before we jump into a practical session of this XML reading. So in this session we are going to only see how to read an XML file, and in the next session we are going to see how to write into an XML files. Mostly the read operation is used in our framework designing. So coming to what is XML. So XML stands for Extensible Markup Language, and it's like an HTML language. It's a markup language. As we have seen different DOM structures in our previous sessions, you have a different you have different HTML tags like an HTML head, body, and all those tags, right? In the same way, XML is also embedded within a tags, but that is an unstructured. That means you have your own tags defined. It's not a predefined tags, but you have its own defined user defined tags. And XML just stores information wrapped in tags. It does not give you any formatting in the page, but it's a just information storage. And as usually as HTML pages has .html extension, these XML files also have .xml extension, and you can open it in any browser. And also these can be opened in a notepad for editing. So let's see some differences between this XML and HTML. So the major difference is focus on storing data. XML stores data and HTML focus on displaying data and has no predefined tags. XML does not have any predefined tags. You can define your own tags, and HTML has its own predefined tags. And XML is W3C recommendation and HTML is also an W3C recommendation. And a final note on XML. XML stores data in a plain text and helps to store, transport, and share data in easy way. So the reason for using XML files in our automation or in real world is it carries the data in a lightweight manner, and you can transport data to other applications for the communication, and also it shares data. It's a very easy and lightweight component. That's the reason XML files are more prominent in the real world application developments. Now here I just wanted to give you some example. Before that, where can we use XMLs in our Selenium automation? So you might have known about this testing generally has a different environments like development, QA, stage, prod, right? So always defining the web application URLs for each and every environment that you test is a tedious task, right? So if you want to test in QA, again you have to take the QA URL, and if you want to test in stage, you will take the stage URL. So always keep on changing these URLs is a difficult task. And also organizing it in a different file formats like properties file or XML files is also not good idea, because it will be not a structured manner, right? So in order to overcome all these issues, we use XML files to store the environment details, and also you can store your browser related informations as well, and DB configuration information as well, and all those things. Okay, here you can see you can use these XML files to store your test data in the form of key value pairs, page object models, or BDD frameworks. You can use there as well. I don't mean that it's exactly a key value pair. The reason why I put as a key value pair is, for example, if you want to get the dev URL for your application, then this dev will be a key and application URL will be a value. Okay, so in that sense it's a key value pair. It's not related to any programmatic concepts. Okay, and also the fast read access, so it can read the data very fastly. So if you look at this example, I have given some URLs and DBs data. You can see the tag which has environments, and you have I have two components here, two subsections. One is app UI and other one is DB URL. I wanted to store the web URL of different environments like development, QA, stage, and prod, and as well as I want to store the DB configuration details of development, QA, stage, and prod. So in this case, I am organizing it in a very well mannered. I can pick whatever I need. If I want to get the dev URL, I can get this dev tag information. That which we will do programmatically in easy way. You don't have to edit your code. You just have to call. You have to just define the environment that you need, and you just need to call this URL tag, right? That we'll see. And this is one more view. In Eclipse you can view a different views. This is an XML editing view, and this is just a node tree wise tree view in the Eclipse. You can see this environments, app UI, dev. By looking at this, you can see it is how well organized for the environment and the app URLs and the DB URLs, right? Now let's switch to our Eclipse and let's see how to implement this read XML. Okay, I already have an package created here, XML read file. So let me create a class here. Let me call it as read XML. Let me take public static void main. So we are going to create a method here, a reusable method, which will get us the data that we need. And also we have one environment variables, environments here. You can see I have environments, app UI, and different app URLs, and also the DB URLs. So what we are going to do in this session is we are going to get the information from this XML file. Say for example, I need a prod URL. Okay, I just need this value to get www.prodmywebapp.com. And for the DB URL, for example, if I need prod DB connection string, then I will be getting this value which is existing here. So what we are going to do now is we are going to write a program that will get the information of all these through the code. Okay, so let me close all this. Okay, so this is my I have placed my XML in the project itself. I have not placed it in any of the subfolders. So this is my class file. Now let's write the code for this. So first thing what I have to do is you have to you include this dependency. Of course, some dependencies might be from this, and some dependencies or some packages might be importing from other things. Okay, here we are using two classes and four interfaces. We will see that how we use that. So initially, say for example, I need the prod environment URL. So let us see how to define that. So I'll be using system.setProperty to get the value of an environment. So I'll say, for example, I'll call it as execution environment. And here you have to provide the same tag that you use here. Say for example, I want to take the prod URL. I want to get this URL. Okay, so I'll be using the same name here. So that is the first thing that we are going to do. And then next thing is you have to take one string. You have to declare one string variable. I'll call it as web URL, and we are going to create one method here. Okay, so let me write that function here. So let me call it as get test data. Okay, and I'll call it as web. Because why I will call it as web is, here you can see the main tag that I need here is web. So if you need web, you can define web, and if you need DB, then you can define DB, right? So for now I need a web URL, so I am defining web, and I need the application URL. So I need this URL, right? From web, I need to go to prod. That prod we have already defined here in the system.set property. And then the next step is we need this application URL. Okay. So I'll be giving that application URL here, right? Now, so since this method is not available, let us create this method. So this is automatically um, the structure or the skeleton of the method is created automatically. Now the first parameter is web, right? And the second parameter is application URL. So this web is nothing but a section. Okay, that is a section name. So I'll be giving it as section name, and the application URL is a node. So this is called a node. Okay, so let me declare it as node. Let me give a name, proper naming convention, so that it will get the correct format. Now next thing what I have to do is I have to uh, get the environment details, right? We have to go to the particular path. So here in this case, I have a project. I need to go to the project first, and then web, and then prod, and then to the application URL, right? So for this, what I am going to do is we already have an environment defined here using system.set property. So I'll be taking a one more string here. String, I'll call it as environment, and using same system.get property, I'll be getting the value of the environment. So here my value is execution environment, right? So I'll be giving that execution environment, and let me print this so that you will get some easy understanding. Environment is okay. Let me print this value. Let me run this. You can see the environment is prod. So whatever we define here, it returns this environment in this variable. Okay, so let me comment this statement for now. And the next thing what we are going to do is we are going to write a path which will help to navigate through this project, web, and prod, and application URI. So how do I do that is declare one string variable, and then so you can see here it's a project, right? So let us take this project. So we are writing the exact path. Okay, and I'll be giving slash here plus, so the section name which we took here, that means section name is nothing but this web. Okay, and then after web we need to go to prod, right? So prod we already stored it in the environment. So I'll be giving plus, and I'll be giving one slash so that it continues with the path and environment plus. Next we have to give the application URL, right, which is nothing but a node name. Okay, so I'll be giving one slash plus node name. So with this our path will be confirmed, right? So now let me print this. Path is now let me run this. See, now you can see we had our path project, web, prod, application URL. So you can see here project, web, prod, application URL. Now we will navigate till here and then get this value. So that's the reason we have taken this path here. Okay, so let me comment this print statement. Now what we have to do is we have to define our file. Where is our file located? Okay, so I'll call it as file, and XML file is equal to, let me give caps, XML file is equal to new file of, so my path name is, I mean my file name is environments, right? So let me take this, exact same name. So since it's in a root, you don't have to define the path. It will automatically pick up. Okay. You can place your environments file anywhere, wherever you need. So for now, I am placing it in the root project itself. If you want, you can place in test data folder or any folder. Okay. So let me import this file. Done. Now, after importing the file, we have to declare one string to store our value, which is going to store in this web URL, right? So I'll be declaring string um, final value. Okay. So I'll be declaring this next. So here what we have to do is we have to declare two classes, as I said you, builder factory and document builder. So why these classes we are using is to to read the document, I mean to read the XML document. Okay, let me show you the importance of it. See, so we have a class document builder library. It defines a factory API that enables applications to obtain a parser that produces DOM object trees from XML documents. So this helps to get the DOM structure from the XML documents. So let us declare document builder library. So document builder factory, and I'll be declaring one variable document factory is equal to, again I'll be taking document builder factory dot new instance. Okay, we'll be creating a new instance for it. Okay, so it's already imported. See, javax dot xml parses. Okay, it will parse the document. Next thing what we have to do is we have to define document builder. Now this part is done. Now we have to define document builder. So document builder, I'll call it as dbuilder. Okay, again you can import this from XML parser. Okay, and the next thing is you have to use the document. Okay, so let me declare document doc. Okay, so this document you have to import from org.w3c. Just remember, this is very important. So you can see here, you can see org dom4, you Java X Swing text and everything. So be careful here. You have to import it from w3c.dom. So w3c.dom. So what this document does is, I'll show you. See, so we are importing from w3c.doc. The document interface. This is an interface, and this interface represents the entire HTML or XML document. Conceptually, it is a root of the document tree that and provides the primary access to the document's data. So in order to access the data as a tree format, then we are using this document interface. Now, once this is done, we have to declare node list as well. Okay, so let us declare that node list, and I'll call it as node list. And again import it from the same package w3c.dom. And once this is done, we have to declare node as well, because this is called a node. The application URL, the final one, is called a node. So node, and call it as node, and again import this from org.w3c.dom. And the last most thing is we have to import xpath. Okay, xpath, let me call it as xpath. Okay, so why we use this xpath here is, see, again you have a different things. You have to import it from java.xml.xpath. Okay, that's the package that we have to use to import XML. Why we use this xpath is, if you see this environment, it has, generally if you take any web application of a DOM structure, you'll be writing your xpath as project /web /dev /prod /application URL, right? So in the same way, in order to read the XML file, we have to declare this X path. So we will see in a while. Now our declarations are all done. Now what we have to do is we have to declare all this. Let us take a let us do dbuilder. Okay, we already have dbuilder here, document builder, and we are going to create an document builder which will help to go to the document and get all the content, right? So dbuilder dfactory dot, we are going to call a method new document builder. Okay, this is kind of initialization. Okay, so here db factory dot new document builder. So let us put this in a try block for now, and let me declare catch. Okay, now so we have declared a dbuilder. Now let's take a doc is equal to dbuilder dot, we are going to parse the XML file that we have. Okay, so dbuilder dot, this dbuilder is used to parse. Now we already got the document, now we are going to parse it. Dbuilder dot parse of, we have to provide the XML file path here. So we already have a file which has XML file path, so we have to give that name here. Okay, once this is done, we have to get the elements and normalize those. Okay, how do we do that? We have to call one method called dot get document element. So we will get all the elements and then normalize those elements. Elements are nothing but again these tags which you have here. So once this is done, we have to get the path. We already have an X path here, so take that X path is equal to, we have to use XPath factory, XPath factory dot new instance. We are creating a new instance as we did for DB factory. New instance dot new XPath. Now we have created an XPath instance as well. Now what we have to do is we have to declare a node list which will get all the elements into this node list, all this structure. Okay, so how to declare that? We already have a node list declared here, so take that node list is equal to, we have xpath dot, we have to use a method called compile. Okay, we have to use, okay, let's parse it into node list. Okay, we have to use xpath dot compile of, we already have a path. You remember we have already path here, right? See, we have path which has project web prod application URL, right? Let me maximize the screen. Okay, we already have a path, so we will be taking that path and evaluate. We have to use an evaluate method, and we already have a doc here, so which is having the parse all parse document, and then we will be giving xpath constraint constants dot node set, xpath constants dot node set. Okay, so just close this statement. Now in the catch block we will just define return null in case if the document or XML file is not found. Okay, okay, so we have to remove from here. We will be declaring, we will be giving that final value here, string final value. So let me declare it here now itself, return final value. Okay, Now what we have to do is, we already have a node list, right? We have to navigate through this node list and get the value. Okay, you remember we have a section name which is nothing but a web. Where is that? Yeah, we have a section name as web. This is a section name, and the node name as the application URL. So we already have a node name, right? So we need to navigate through to this node name and get this value. We should try to get this value. Okay, so in order to do that, we have to navigate through each and every loop, each and every node, and then get the value. So to do that, you have to declare a for loop for int. Let me take some temp variable. Temp is equal to 0, temp less than. We already have a node list, right? So node list dot length. So we will be navigating to get length and temp plus plus. So in this for loop, what we are going to do, we have already node declared. So let us take this node variable. Node is equal to node list. We already have a node list, right? So node list dot item of temp. So this will give the name. This will give the name of the tag, whether it is application URL or prod, or it will give the tag. Okay, so what we have to do here is, we have to verify if this node is having the value of node name. That means the value is an application URL or not. Okay, so to do that, if node dot get node name. Okay, get node name dot equals of node name. So we already have a node name here, right? See, we already have a node name here. That means we received an application URL as a node name. That means this is the node name, application URL. So it's checking whether it's a application URL or not. So here, once this node name is found, we have to store the value into final value. Okay, or let us call it as final. um, yeah, let it be final value. So let me take that final value. So final value is equal to node dot, we have to use get text content here. We have to use get text content method dot trim, which will give you this value. That means which will give you this www.prodmyweb.com. Okay, so that is why we are using get text content from that. So what we have done here is, we have declared a the document builder factory. Okay, and then we have declared document builder and doc node list node and XPath. This node is nothing but this exact application URL. Okay, and node list gets all the list of this structure. Okay, here what we have did, we have taken an XPath and we have given the path here, which we already declared, which means project slash web slash prod application URL. Okay, so this is one time implementation, and from the next time whenever you call this method, you have to simply call these two statements. That's all. You have to declare the execution environment, and then you have to give the two metrics here. One is the section name and other one is the application URL. Okay, now we got the final value. Now we have to return this final value. Okay, so let me give the final value here. Let me see, initialize variable. Okay, we have initialized this variable. Now what it will do is, whenever you run this program, it will call this test data method, get test data method, and it will go to web. Okay, and it will next go to application URL, and again this application URL, and it will print this value. That is what we are doing. Okay, so now let's run this program. Okay, I think we haven't printed that value, right? So let me print this value. System.out.println received URL is, so let me declare it here. Okay, so let me run this now. Yeah, now you can see received URL is www.prodmywebapp.com. So in the first step I have declared the environment, that is prod, and in the second step I want the web. From web I need application URL. Okay, in the same way, for example, I have another component called DB, and I have a different DB connection string. Say for example I need DB stage and this DB connection. So in that case what I'm going to do, so let us write that. So I'll be declaring system dot get property again. Okay, and this time I'll be taking a div. So let me take let me take stage, and let me give here, and then let me declare one more string db url is equal to read xml dot get test data of. So here you can see I need to provide two. It's automatically showing me what I need to provide. One is section name, another one is node name. So what is my section name? My section name is db, right? So I'll be giving in a double quotes, I'll be giving db, and node name. So what is my node name? db connection string, right? So I'll be giving that node name. Okay, so now I'll write a print statement. Okay, now db or received db url is, I'll be giving this db url value. Here I'll be giving db received web url. So now let me run this program. See, now you got everything. Let me maximize this. See, received web URL is www.prodmywebapp.com. Received DB URL is server stage, my server name, and everything, whatever we have in this environment file. Okay, see this value we got there. So now, once you have these values stored in DB URL and web URL, you can use it in your program. Say for example, simply you have to use driver dot get of. You can use DB URL. Okay, so this way you can write your programs. So web driver. Okay, so you can import this. See, now driver dot get initialize variable. Yeah, driver dot get db url. So in this case it will navigate through this www.prodmywebapp.com website. If you give stage, it will give you stage. So let me show you here. I'll declare it as stage, and now I'll run the program. Now here you should be getting the URL changed, stagemywebapp.com. So let me run this. Okay, I think here it might be a different name. Stage. Yeah, we have received this complete name. Okay, it's throwing the error regarding this driver. Okay, it's not about the XML. Let me run this again. Yeah, you can see now stage mywebapp.com and the server stage. So you can just change the environment here and then change the section name and the node name. That's all. So I'll be giving this program in the GitHub link in the description box. You can take it from there, and you can copy this method into your framework, and you can start using this. So this is very easy implementation. It does not require once it is implemented, you can use it in very easy way. Okay, so let me show you that here. So go to this knowledge github.com knowledge share technologies, and then you can see here framework prerequisites, and you can download this code from here. It has everything here. You can go to this folder, and you can see read XML base screenshots toward Excel read write, and I'll be uploading this XML as well. So you can take the link from description and make use of it. So just try to practice this example with your own XML files. In that way you will get some hands-on experience. So thanks for watching and have a nice day.